Flosstube. I hope you're all doing well tonight. My name is Lunar of Lunar Witch Stitchery, and my pronouns are they, them. I hope, again, that you're all doing well today. Typically, I have been uploading once a month for the past couple months, but a lot has happened in the past few weeks, and as I was working on updating my little note thing that I keep for myself about, like, what I want to cover in my next Flosstube episode, I was like, this is a significant amount of stuff. So I thought that I would take the opportunity to just go ahead and film a regular Flosstube. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. As usual, I will be doing a quick little life update first. So if you're not interested in that, you can just go ahead and click ahead in the video. There will be times down in the video bar. I don't have too much to cover today in my life update. I think I mentioned this in my last video, but it was recently my birthday. My birthday is April 4th. I just turned 25, so that was pretty exciting. I didn't really get up to too much. Well, I say that. My partner and I actually went to a K-pop concert on my birthday, but they were kind of like separate events. The concert just happened to be on my birthday. Yeah, but anyway, for like my birthday celebration, we pretty much just went to get ice cream like the night before, and that was all I did. I'm not really into parties or anything like that, so yeah, I just had like some chill time to myself, and then plus that concert on the actual day of. These sleeves do not sit right on me, so I'm really sorry if I tug on them a whole bunch in this video. But yes, like I said, my partner and I went to a K-pop concert on my birthday. We went up to Minneapolis to see my favorite K-pop group. It was super, super fun. Yeah, this was not my first K-pop concert at all, but it was Ruben's first. So that was really exciting to watch him have that experience. This is one of his favorite groups as well. So yeah, it was just a really fun time. They were really awesome, super sweet. It was a pretty small crowd, especially compared to the concerts that I've been to before. Which were for much larger groups. The like one-on-one interaction that we were able to get kind of was really, really cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed myself. I think you guys should be seeing a couple pictures on screen. So yeah, otherwise I've been improving a little bit, mental health wise. Our upstairs neighbors recently had a baby, and somehow that has actually helped them quiet down quite a bit. We can't hear the actual like baby crying or anything like that. The division between our two apartments is soundproof enough that we can't hear the actual infant, which is great. But they aren't like coming in and out of the house so much. They're not like having people over really, so that's been really, really helpful for me too. Yeah, I've also just been like stitching like crazy. I have 5 projects to show you guys today, which is I think the most I've had in quite some time. And yeah, honestly, it's like the only thing that I've been doing in my free time, besides thinking about K-pop, which I have also been doing a lot for the past week. Okay, that is all I have for my life update, so let's just jump right into the whips. I have quite a bit to talk about here. So the first whip we're going to be talking about today is somebody that we haven't seen in a little bit. This is Bohemia. The original art is by Medusa Dollmaker, and this is charted by Gecko Rouge. This is a full coverage kit, and I pulled this out because it was actually this project's birthday recently. I want to say it was March 29th or something like that. I don't quite remember off the top of my head, but it was somewhere around the end of March. So I decided to pull her out and give her some love. So this is a quick pic of where she was at the last time you guys saw her, which I believe would have been my end of year whip parade, if I'm not mistaken. And then this is where she is at now. I put in a fair bit of work on this. It's all kind of in this zone. This is being stitched 2/1/2 stitch on 25 count even weave. And let me get my pattern keeper really quick and tell you numbers. This is 2.85% and it's about 6,500 stitches out of many. So a little bit of background on her. This was my first full coverage piece that I ever started. I started it as a birthday new start last year. And she's been through, a few changes. If you guys haven't been around, this block up here was stitched 2/1 full cross, and I got, to this part and I was like, I just don't really like how this looks. So I ended up just switching over to the half stitch, and it always looks a little bit more sparse on camera than it actually is in real life, but it's looking pretty good. You can't really tell too much. And since I've moved into some of these lighter colors down here, I'm really, really happy with how that 2/1 half stitch is looking. So something else is you might notice these parked threads. I have never been one for parking. It's just like, it's not like natural to me. I learned cross country like literally 15 years ago, and that's just kind of what I've stuck with. But I was finding that with this piece, I was having trouble like deciding what color to work on next, and like how far I should be working that color out. And I thought that if I tried doing the like diagonal cross country method, that might help. So right now I'm kind of working my way this way. Yeah, so far I think I like it. I have just been parking my threads in the next diagonal over to work on when I get there. And I think I do like it. I just feel like the parked threads are constantly in my way. So if you guys have any tips for that, let me know. Like especially when I'm working in the next diagonal, where the threads are parked in, I feel like I'm constantly like flooping them all over the place. Yeah. I am able to track my parked threads in Pattern Keeper, so that hasn't been a problem as of yet. I was worried that I would have trouble like keeping track of everything that was parked, but that has not been the issue. The issue has been stuff in my way. So yeah, I'm still kind of up in the air. The jury's out on that one, on if I like parking or not. But yeah, that is Bohemia. There is so much cat hair on this project bag. My cats are shedding like crazy. Next up, we have one of my regular pieces that you guys see all the time. This is my Noah's Ark Precious Moments pattern. This was my mom's piece, and I'm finishing it for her by doing all the back stitching. Here's what it looked like last time, and then this is where I got to this time. I believe the only thing I did was this frog. I haven't picked this up in like a week or a week and a half. The last time I worked on this, I got like really mad at it. I'm not sure why, because it's not like that frog was especially hard. I just remember being really frustrated, and I'm not sure if it was just because I was drinking with my partner while I was doing it, or what the deal was there, but I just like haven't picked this up in a little while, so that's where we're at with that. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on this one. Okay, next up, again, another one of my regular pieces. This is my Dark Queen of the Earth stitch along, being charted by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and the fabric is done by Under the Sea Fabrics. Here is where she was at the last time I filmed, and then here is where I was able to get to this time. I've been working on part 7, which is the circular branch that'll come up and around. I'm at a point where I'm needing to move my Q-snap. I'm like up here, so I will have to do that soon. I have several things to talk about here. Couple quick housekeeping things. This is 2/2 on 32 count linen in Nightshade. And I am a bit behind on this sal, but not like super far behind. So I do have part 6 pretty much done aside from her torso. I'm waiting to stitch that until we get the topless version that Aaron said he might be charting. And then I'm about almost halfway through part 7, and then we just got part 8 on April 1st. Part 8 was indeed the Queen's face, and we were actually given the choice of 2 different faces. I chose to go with the, like, somebody in my comments called it like a zombie face, and that wasn't really like the impression I got from it, but it is kind of a good way to describe it. But the face that I chose was the original face that was charted for the Queen. And then we also got the option of a secondary face that was more of like a tree kind of elfy look. And I did like that one. It just wasn't really for me. I think from what I've seen on the Facebook group, probably like 3/4 to 80% of people are going to be stitching that tree face, which I think is really funny. But anyway, so that is the one I'm going to be doing. We're supposed to be getting a like conversion chart for the hair. We're going to be getting some hair color options. So, I'm thinking I'm probably going to be stitching her as charted. I do really like how her hair looks, but I just want to see like what my options are before I decide solidly by starting to stitch the like auburn colored hair. But I do really like how it looks with the color palette, and I think it plays off of the green of her skin tone really nicely. So yeah, I'm very excited. I've seen a lot of people doing modifications for the faces. Some people have been adding pupils to her eyes because she doesn't have them. I actually really prefer the look without pupils. I think that it really makes it. But you know, to each their own. Like I said, I'm probably going to be stitching it as charted, so maybe I'm boring. I just think it looks excellent as is. So that's where we're at. One other thing, I did make a like tiny change. I don't even know if you guys are going to be able to tell on camera, but in part 7, I have added in a metallic floss. So I got this idea from somebody in the Facebook group for this Sal. They said that they added, I'm trying to fish around in here and find the skein of the metallic. They said that they added a strand of DMC Diamant to their 841, which is the lightest color in this twisty branch. So they were doing a blend with one strand of 841 and one strand of rose gold Diamant. The stores near me didn't carry DMC Diamant, so I just went with Light Effects. So this is the color that I am using. It is E436. And then, like I said, I'm just blending this with one strand of 841. When I was at the store, it was pretty much like the closest match to 841 that I could find. So that's why I went with that color in particular. Again, I'm not really sure if you guys are going to be able to see that. This like long part here is all that blend. I'm having a really hard time capturing it on camera. I tried to send my fiance a picture of it and I like couldn't get it to look right. So when he saw it in person, he was like, wow, that looks way different. So anyway, I'm really happy with the way that it's looking. I just think it adds a little bit of extra interest, a little bit of extra magic to it. And I'm super into it. Next up, we have Princess Serenity. I have cat hair stuck in my lipstick. The original art for this is by Hannah Alexander, and it was charted by Make It Pink. This has pretty much been like my main focus piece for a little while now. So here's where I was at last time, and then this is where I got to this time. So I've made a fair bit of progress. If you can tell down here, I have made it to a new color once again, so that's pretty exciting. Pulling up Cross Stitch Saga to get a percentage. This is 28.02, and we are almost to 15,000 stitches, which is pretty cool. If you can see on here, I don't think you can. Let me lower my brightness. I've done quite a bit at this point of the full cross. I still have a ways to go. I have to admit, I'm getting a little bit burned out on working on the dress. It is just so much color blocking. So I've been thinking about moving my Q-snap back up and working on like her little background moon. She has a little underarm drapey bit on the other side that I could do. I could work her hair up a little bit more. I think I just might need to take a break from the dress. Honestly, part of it is because I did find a miscount, and it's not really a big deal. If you can see in like the edge of each color, the color kind of feathers out. Like again, right here. And that's to help the colors blend nicely. That is how you get this really, really nice gradient. And I found a miscount in that feathering area. I somehow added like 3 extra stitches on, which is a lot. So I didn't find it. I'm working down, and the miscount was like up here, and I didn't find it until I got like 30 rows down. So I just left it. It wasn't something that I could easily go back and frog. And like I said, it was in the feathering area, so it's not really noticeable. The only issue was I was nervous about if a bead was going to be slightly off because I accidentally put a stitch in a spot that it wasn't supposed to be, but I didn't actually run into that, which was super lucky. So I'm really thankful for that. But yeah, I think just that fact kind of put me off from this piece a little. Yeah, I don't know. She looks absolutely fine though. Like, I can't even tell you where the incorrect stitches are at this point. They were stitched past quite some time ago. So, yeah. If you can see though, I am getting into some zones here and here that have an awful lot of beads. So that has been keeping it interesting. There's been a lot more like brain power required rather than up here where it was only full cross just forever and ever until I die. So that has been pretty cool. I'm still feeling really motivated to work on this piece despite everything I just said. And I do want to work to the bottom of the dress. I think that it would be a really big feeling of accomplishment for me to get down there, but at the same time I'm also like, ooh, but I could just like not do that right now. So we'll see what the future holds for this piece. It is a huge pain to move my Q-snap, so I may just continue working on the dress. We shall see. And finally, I have one more piece for you folks today. This is, I think the cat hair is still in my lipstick. I'm so sorry. This is my birthday new start for this year. I alluded to this in my last video. I'm just pulling it up on Saga right now. This is Sailor Uranus. The original art is by Hannah Alexander, and it was charted by Make It Pink. Like I said, this is a new start, so I have no before picture because this is all new. So this is what I was able to do. Wow. Oh my goodness. So much stitching. This is a whopping 73 stitches, which is putting me at 0.23%. This is part of her thigh, like her inner thigh. She has I don't like how this color makes my face look, so I'm going to put this down. She has like a leotard on, so she's got an awful lot of leg. So, but yes, I say this is 73 stitches. I'm actually doing the skin for my Sailor Scouts as 2/1 tent stitch or half stitch. And honestly, out of all 13 of them, Sailor Uranus really needs it the least. The reason I'm doing the over one skin is just because of like how many beads are in their skin. A lot of them have like sheer overlays on their skin. So like the fabric has beads in it. But Sailor Uranus doesn't really have that, and like her entire leg is exposed, both of them. So I have a lot of skin over one to do. I've never really done skin over one before, so I've been kind of terrified, honestly. But once I kind of got into the groove of it, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Maybe let me show you guys like that is what I accomplished. The colored in part right in her cooter area. Yeah, I have a lot to go on the skin. Again, if you guys can see, her legs are just completely exposed. So that's a lot of over one stitching I'm gonna have to do, and I'm not like super looking forward to it, but yeah. This is still on the Q snap just because I couldn't decide if I wanted to work on her for another day or not. I'm thinking she is going to go away, and we'll talk about that in plans, which is right now. I forgot that I actually have haul. So before we get to plans, I have some things to show you. I'm so sorry for getting so close to my mic. So like I mentioned in my life update, my partner and I went to Minneapolis for a K-pop concert on my birthday. We actually took the opportunity to do some shopping as well. Unfortunately, our day did not go as planned. Honestly, we had a hell of a day that day. It was not great. We had planned to hit up a couple places, a couple of our favorite shops in downtown Minneapolis. But because of like traffic and like a billion other issues that happened, they actually closed before we could get there. And one of the shops we wanted to go to too was just closed on Tuesdays, which was sucky. But we did successfully make one stop that I wanted to make. It was to somewhere I had never been before. We had to go like pretty far out of our way to get there. It was in Minnetonka, Minnesota, which is like 15 or 20 minutes out from where downtown Minneapolis is. So we went out of our way to go to this place. I actually went to my first local needlework shop. It was called Stitchville, USA, which I thought was super funny. But yeah, I had so much fun. Like I said, I'd never been to an LNS before. We don't have one in the city that I live in. And I don't think we really have one in my hometown either. If we do, I haven't been able to find any info on it. So, my hometown is Madison, Wisconsin, which is a pretty large city for this area. So it's kind of interesting that we don't have one. But anyway, I was very overwhelmed at this place. They had like every floss you could ever think of. They carried so much floss. They had a ton of fabric. Surprisingly, not that many patterns. I was expecting them to have more patterns, so I was kind of saved by by that. They had a lot of options for framing too, which I thought was really cool. And then of course all kinds of other goodies. So I picked up a couple things. One thing I was not expecting to purchase, this was sitting by the register, is this Stitcher's lotion. This is by Yarn Tree, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I just got the unscented kind. So if you guys don't know, I have both eczema and psoriasis, which are both basically chronic dry skin conditions. And sometimes, especially in the winter, I'll get it really bad on my knuckles and in between my fingers, which can make it really hard to stitch because it can make your skin crack, which is not super pleasant to deal with. But I often would find myself avoiding putting on lotion because I didn't want to I wanted to stitch, and if I put lotion on, I didn't want to risk getting my fabric all oily and weird. So the point of this is to be a lotion that dries down with no residue. And I have to say, I was actually so surprised at how well this did what it said it was going to do. I do believe there is a bit of alcohol in this, and that's what dries it down, but After I applied this and it dried down, it did moisturize my skin and it didn't feel like I had lotion on. It did not leave any sort of greasy feelings on my skin. So, yeah, it didn't mark on my fabric at all. And for like my emergency relief, I really love this. It's definitely not replacing my regular lotion, but for like I want to stitch but my skin is cracking open, I love this. Besides that, I got some floss. So like I said, they carried quite a lot of different types of floss. They carried like the entire line of everything Rainbow Gallery has ever made. They carried like dinky dyes and all that kind of stuff as well. Obviously DMC, Kreinik, all kinds of stuff. So I tried not to go crazy. I decided to focus on getting specialty floss for Sailor Uranus since she is my next project. I think there were 1 or 2 colors that they didn't have, which was fine. But let me get these together if possible. I just picked up these for Kreinik braids. These are all number 4 braid. Yep. So that's exciting. And I also picked up the Silk Mori. This is used for the background. There is the planetary symbol of each Sailor Scout's planet that is behind them, and it's done half stitch in Silk Mori. I just got 2 skeins. I might end up needing more. I'm not totally sure yet, but I thought 2 was reasonable. I was going to pick up another skein for Serenity, but they did not have her color, which sucked. But yes, I was super excited to find this because I actually could not find this color on 123 Stitch, and I was like, where am I going to order this from? That's like the only place I ever order floss from. So I was really happy to find that in person. I picked up one other thing. This is Petite Very Velvet by Rainbow Gallery. It is a velvet floss. This is actually called for in one of the other Sailor Moon patterns for Sailor Luna. It's basically just her humanized version. Yeah, I believe I have seen this on 123 Stitch, but since I was there in person and it was really easy to find the black color, I was like, I'm just gonna like grab this real quick since I am already here. So I did. So that is what I got at the LNS. I had a super fun time and I can't wait to go back and be able to spend a little bit more time there and not worry about like rushing back to get to dinner before a concert. Sorry if I'm sitting weird. My hips are absolutely killing me, so I'm trying to find a better position to finish this video. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I actually, when I was a teenager, I used to do karate. I did taekwondo, and I actually have my 2nd degree black belt in taekwondo, which is super funny because I am now a chubby 25-year-old. But yeah, since I did that during my teen years, it kind of messed up some of my joints, especially my hips. So sitting in one position for too long can be really hard on them. One other thing I wanted to talk about for haul. With my birthday money that I recently received, I am hoping that like with some paycheck money and stuff, that I will have enough to get a Lowry. The thing about it is since it's coming from the UK, I want to make sure that I get all the accessories that I want. So it kind of adds up really fast. So but yeah, hopefully that is an order that I will be placing fairly soon. Okay, now we can actually talk about plans. So I still haven't pulled out Odile yet. I've mentioned a couple times that her project birthday was like mid-March and I had wanted to work on her, but I just haven't gotten to that yet. Honestly, like one of the biggest things that stands in my way with pulling out projects is like the process of freeing up a Q-snap and putting a new project on said Q-snap. So that's why I haven't brought her out yet. But I'm thinking I'm going to put Sailor Uranus away, and bring out Odile to take over that Q-snap. Speaking of Uranus, I just remembered that I had an unexpected purchase that I wanted to mention. It's not here yet. I'm still waiting on it, but I went on Etsy and I got some Sailor Moon fabric. I'm going to be making a fabric bag specifically, a project bag specifically for my Sailor Moon pieces. This is something I wanted to do like since these patterns started coming out, so like a year ago. But I just couldn't find a fabric that I liked, and then I kind of like stopped thinking about it until the other night. So I finally found one that I liked and I placed an order, but they are printed, like the fabrics are printed on demand, so I have to wait like 4 to 6 weeks. But that's totally fine. But yes, so that is on the way, kind of. Yes, Odile. This is kind of a lofty goal. I'm hoping to have Princess Serenity at 40% by May. I have really slowed down on her recently, so I'm not sure if I'm going to meet that goal, but it would be pretty cool. So we'll see. And then I'm hoping to catch up on my Dark Queen of the Earth fairly soon. It has always been my intention to be up to date on that cell. And it kind of does suck that I've been so behind on it for quite some time now, but, it is what it is, and I do feel pretty motivated to work on her lately, so, yeah. I'm feeling kind of torn between my two goals of keeping up with my Dark Queen and getting Serenity to a certain percentage each month, so, yeah, I don't know. It just kind of depends on which project, demands my attention that day. All right, my throat is so sore at this point, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate you. I am hoping to film another Flosstube at the end of April, beginning of May. So yeah, I will see you folks then. Bye!